Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the lecture series on gas chromatography. This is the fifth lecture in this series on gas chromatography. In this lecture, we'll consider the columns used in GC. Now, the columns in GC are the most important part of gas chromatography, and we'll see about them in this lecture. Historically, when GC was introduced in the early 1950s, packed columns were used. In packed columns, you have a tube or a column in which a packing material, which is a stationary support, was put, and inside the packing material, stationary phase which was liquid, was coated on the solid support or the packing material, and mobile phase gas was passed through the column. It was theoretically shown then only that the unpacked columns having diameters of a few tenths of millimeter were superior, which means that if we are using a column which has got no stationary support or very little stationary support, that is unpacked column, they have got better efficiencies. In those type of columns, which are basically capillary columns, the stationary phase is a thin film of liquid of few micrometer thickness coated inside it. So it's basically those type of columns are capillary columns, inside which the stationary phase is coated inside. Stationary phase liquid is coated inside. During the late 1950s, such columns having efficiency of 3 lakh plates were made, but were not used for 2 decades due to problems associated with them. Now they knew that unpacked columns or the capillary columns, they got higher efficiency and they are much better than packed columns, but they were not able to use it for at least 2 more decades. That is till the 1979s or the early 1980s. These capillary columns were not used to great extent. Packed columns, they have got good capacity, but they have got very poor efficiency. So, but they were used till the end of 70s. Let us see the reasons for which the capillary columns were not used. Capillary columns had small sample capacities. Earlier on, the sample sizes were quite large, and the capacities of capillary columns is very small. Capacity of capillary column is very small. These columns also were fragile. Fragileness was one reason. Problems associated with sample introduction and connection of columns to detectors. That means the capillary columns were difficult to connect to the detector, and sample introduction into these columns was also problematic. Also, it was difficult to coat the stationary phase inside these capillary columns. Coating of the stationary phase inside to the inner surface of the capillary column was difficult. Another reason was that the lifetime of these poorly prepared columns was very short, because they were fragile and they used to break easily, so the life of those columns were very short. Also, the columns were getting clogged. When you pass the mobile phase, most of the time these capillary columns they were getting clogged. One of the biggest reasons for not using the capillary columns was patents. There was one company or one manufacturer who was having the patent for making capillary columns, and because of that the cost of those columns was very high. Obviously, somebody who is having a patent of a particular item will charge heavily, or he will have a monopoly of that, and he will charge heavily for that. So because of that, these columns were not used. All these reasons contributed to the limited use of columns, capillary columns. The patent expired in 1977. As you know, that patents have got some life, 20 years, and by 1977 the patents got expired. Okay, so by late 70s these problems were overcome, and after that open tubular column became popular. So because they are highly efficient, they became popular. Now you can see the difference between a packed column and a capillary column. Now you can see inside a packed column you are having a stationary support material. You can see all those circles, small circles which are there, they are the packing material. And on the packing material or the stationary support there is a stationary phase, there is a stationary liquid phase which is there. Now if you look at the capillary columns are hollow from inside, there is no support inside. Okay, one type of capillary column has got a layer of stationary support on the inner side. So this, if it is a, if we are considering that type of capillary column, which is also called as the surface coated open tubular column, this yellow part is the coating of the stationary support, and the orange part which I am moving the arrow on, that one is the stationary phase which is coated on that stationary support, and gas flows through this column. It's coming in and going out, and it's a hollow. So capillary columns are hollow, whereas packed columns are packed, and passing gas through them is also a little bit tedious. You require more pressure for that. Okay, so this is a block, or this is a picture of capillary columns and packed column. Now capillary columns, they are called as open tubular columns because they are open or hollow from inside. Open tubular columns or capillary columns are of two types. Now there are two types: wall coated and support coated open tubular column. Support coated or surface coated open tubular column, whatever you may say, but the correct thing is support coated open tubular column. In support coated open tubular column, there is a thin layer of stationary support present on the walls of those columns. Stationary phase is held on that support. These have got less efficiency, but they have got greater capacity as compared to the wall coated open tubular column. Wall coated open tubular column has got more efficiency but lesser capacity. Wall coated open tubular columns have thin layer of stationary phase coated on the wall of capillary. Okay, you can compare these wall coated open tubular column and support coated open tubular column as to the tender coconut which you get. There are two types of tender coconut normally when we consume. One which has got a lot of malai, or that tender coconut which is there, and the other type of tender coconut has got only the water in it. So in that there is no coating of the malai or the tender coconut. So the wall coated open tubular column is like the bina malai wala coconut, and surface coated open tubular column is like the malai wala coconut, that is which has got some coconut inside it. So surface coated has got a coating of the stationary support on it, and on the stationary support this stationary phase is there, whereas in wall coated open tubular column the stationary phase is directly present on the wall. So now you can see the diagram of the open tubular columns. You can see that this one is your wall coated open tubular column. There is no support here, only the stationary phase is coated on the wall, and this one has got stationary support and solid support, and which is being coated with the stationary liquid phase. Okay, this is SCOT, this is WCOT. There is one more type which is called the porous layer open tubular column or plot, and in that the solid stationary phase is there. Those particles are there inside the column. Now usually what is more popular or more commonly used are these two, so we will not discuss about this. We will focus on here these two columns which are there, that is the support coated and the wall coated open tubular columns. Okay, let's move forward. The wall coated tubes were open tubular columns were made from stainless steel, aluminium, copper or plastic. Subsequently they were made from glass etched with gaseous HCl or KHF. Now initially they were making use of stainless steel, aluminium, copper or plastic. Later on they made use of glass columns, but in glass column what they did was the inner surface of the capillary was etched, or they passed gaseous HCl and KHF, which made the inner surface rough. Etching gives rough surface for stationary phase addition. So if you are having a rough surface inside, the stationary phase can stick on it. Okay. Now the newest open wall coated open tubular column are called the fused silica open tubular column. Okay, they are wall coated only, but they are another type, that is fused silica. Here in this, you see normally glass has got silica and some metal oxides, whereas fused silica, only silica is there. Metal oxides are not there or very present to a very small extent. So these columns are thinner than the glass columns, and but because they are very thin, they are given a coating of polyamide. So polymeric polyamide is coated on it. That gives some flexibility to the column, and also it's more stable. And also you can coil them into diameters of a few inches, and those coiled columns can be put inside an oven. These SCOTs which are there, sorry, these fused excuse me, these fused silica open tubular columns are replacing the wall coated open tubular glass columns. No longer glass columns are used, but these fused silica open tubular columns are used. These columns are less reactive to samples because there is no metal oxides present. So polar samples, they will not interact with the column, and they are less reactive to the samples. These columns are less reactive to the sample. They are more flexible, and they got better physical strength as compared to your glass columns. Types of fused silica open tubular column. Now this is only, they are classified according to the internal diameter. The normal or the most widely used FSOTs are having internal diameter of 320 and 260 micrometers. If you want a higher resolution column, then the internal diameter has to be reduced. So in that case 200 or 150 micrometer internal diameter columns are used. But then these are more demanding or troublesome for injecting of the sample, troublesome in injection of sample, and detector connection and detector connection. That and is missing here. Here one and should be there. So detector connection is difficult in these two columns, 200 and 150 micrometer internal diameter. These two columns, your sample detectors can not be connected so easily, and even sample injection is difficult. So in this case, sample splitters and sensitive detectors are required. Okay. Now the third type of columns which are there, fused silica open tubular column, are the ones which are having internal diameter of 530 micrometers. This is higher than these two. Now these columns, they have got more capacity, so they are called mega bore columns. Also, not only they got more capacity, but the internal diameter is more, so the hole is more. So that is why it is called mega bore. Bore usually means hole, so mega bore means bigger hole. So bigger hole capillary columns of 530 micrometer ID have appeared. In this, the sample size which is there can be equivalent to a pack column sample size. Pack column, whatever sample size you are using, same type of sample size same quantity of sample you can take for these mega bore columns. Their performances are much better than pack columns, but they are not as good as, their performance is not as good as the FSOTs of 320 and 260 micrometers. So they have got better sample capacity, but a little bit less efficiency as compared to 320 and 260, but definitely better efficiency than the pack columns. Now here is a comparison of the types of column. The first column is about fused silica open tubular column. Second one is wall coated open tubular column. The third one is surface coated open tubular column, and the fourth one is pack columns. Now you can see that the length of the columns FSOTs is 10 to 100 meters, wall coated also 10 to 100 meters, surface coated also 10 to 100 meters. Pack column, their length is very less because they are packed with the stationary support, and passing through gas through that for a longer column will be difficult. So these columns are comparatively shorter. Packed columns, they are shorter. The internal diameter, they are small for these open tubular columns. You can see that not more than 0.75 micrometer you are having in this 0.1 to 0.53, 0.25 to 0.75, 0.5. And for packed columns, the internal diameter is more because it has got packing inside. So internal diameter of those columns is 2 to 4 millimeters. Okay, plate numbers are more for FSOTs and the open tubular columns. Surface coated, the plate numbers are less, and for packed columns the plate numbers are least. So as I said, that efficiency is less for packed columns and highest for the FSOTs. Total number of plates, those values are given for that will be per unit length, and you'll find that for packed column the total number of plates is less per unit length. Sample size nanogram for 10 for in terms of nanograms. For FSOTs the sample size is very small, 10 to 75 nanograms. So if you are using such type of samples, such small samples, the detectors have to be very sensitive. You can't use your thermal conductivity detector here because the sample size is very small. Wall coated open tubular column, the sample size is more. In surface coated it is more, and the maximum is in packed column. This is 10. It must not be it must be micrograms or something like that. Okay, so the sample size in packed column is definitely more than that the other ones. Of course, if you are using mega bore here, then the sample size will be quite large. Mega bore FSOTs if you are using, then the sample size can be large. Back pressure is highest for packed columns because it is a packed one, and gas pressure, for other open tubular columns back pressure is low. The speed of the analysis is fast for open tubular columns and slow for packed columns. Chemical inertness best for FSOTs and poorest for packed column. Flexible, only the FSOTs are flexible. So you can see for all parameters except for capacity, the FSOTs are better. Now packed columns, they were the earlier columns which were used. They are fabricated from glass, stainless steel, copper, aluminum or Teflon tubes. The column length is 2 to 3 meters. An internal diameter 2 to 4 millimeters. That we have seen earlier. Densely packed with the uniform finely divided packing material or solid support that is coated with a thin layer of stationary liquid phase. So it's a packing material is there, or this solid support is there, and inside that, on that coating of thin layer of the stationary phase is there. Stationary support, stationary phase is there. Again, to fit them inside the oven, the tubes are formed as coils having diameters of 15 centimeters. Okay. Let's see the type of stationary support which is used. The solid support material used in the case of packed columns, they are small. They consist of small uniform spherical particles with the specific surface area of at least 1 square meter per gram. These support material serve to hold the liquid stationary phase in place. Okay, the stationary phase is held by the stationary support. The material used is your diatomaceous earth. Now, what are these diatomaceous earth? These are nothing but the skeletons of the single-celled plants. Diatoms are single-celled plants which are found in oceans, and diatoms, when they are alive, they are unicellular plants, and they get their nutrition through those single cell through their pores, and they dispose of their waste through their pores. Everything is done through molecular diffusion when the plants are alive. After they die, only the skeleton remains, and because the skeletons are also porous, GC is and because GC is based upon the same kind of molecular diffusion, these materials are well suited for packing material for GC. So diatomaceous earth, these are plants, skeletons of plants and single cell plants, and they are used as the support material. Okay, so in brief now we'll see the summary of the columns. Two types of columns are there: open tubular and packed column. Open tubular, there are two types: wall coated and surface coated. support coated. Again, wall coated, you are having different types made from stainless steel, copper, aluminium, stainless steel, copper, aluminium, glass, fused silica open tubular column. And again the fused silica open tubular column, there are different types depending upon according to their internal diameter they are classified. You got mega bore columns 530 micrometer in ID, then you got 260 and 300 micrometer ID, which is more common. 200 and 150, which are high efficiency column, 150 and 200 micrometer internal diameter. See, you can see that these are the different types of columns which are there. As you go from from right to left, the efficiency increases. They've got the least efficiency, and these 150 micrometer internal diameter, they've got the maximum efficiency. But if you talk of capacities, these have got the least capacities, and as you go from left to right, the capacities will increase. Surface coated, support coated open tubular column, they got more capacity as compared to open tubular wall coated ones, but they've got less capacity as pack column. Pack columns, they've got the maximum capacity. Okay, so with this we conclude with the columns of GC. In the next lecture we'll see about the stationary phases which are used, and a little bit about the applications, and that will conclude your gas chromatography. So the next lecture will be the last lecture in the series of gas chromatography. I hope you liked the lecture. If you liked it, you please press the right like button. You can share the video and subscribe to the channel if you have not already done, and please refer to the earlier lectures if you have not seen them. Okay, thank you very much.